The sky over Haven Rock was the wrong shade of blue that morning. Not storm wrong, not dangerous wrong, just off. Lena Morales noticed it while tying her daughter's boots. She tugged the laces snug. "Hold still," she said. "You're going to trip again." Mira insisted, chin up, curls bouncing. "I won't. I'm almost 8. Lena couldn't help but smile. Almost doesn't stop. Scraped knees. Outside their dome, the artificial lake reflected the pale, unusual sky, its surface rippling under a light breeze. Haven Rock's sun hung warm and familiar, its light filtered just enough by the atmospheric regulators to make this world feel earned, not just taken. On the wall, the colony's calm panel chirped with the daily update. Cloud cover increasing, wind advisory afternoon, and a reminder about the council culture's night at 1900 hours. Lena snorted softly. Council culture's night. Still think they'll ever show up? Mira shrugged, stuffing her tablet into her pack. Teacher says someday, when we're important. Lena leaned down and kissed the top of her head, holding it for a moment longer than necessary. "Eat your lunch," she said, "and stay inside if the wind picks up." Mira rolled her eyes with the unique confidence of a child who had never known a real emergency, never experienced an evacuation drill. "I know, Mom." Then she ran out, her boots thudding on the corridor floor, her laughter echoing behind her. Lena watched until the door slid shut, a strange hesitation keeping her there for just a second too long. Across the colony, in the hydroponics bay, Dr. Aaron Patel was in a heated argument with a pump. "No, no, no," he muttered, kneeling beside the misbehaving unit. "You don't get to fail today." The pump wheezed, sputtered, and then finally steadied its rhythm. Aaron let out a long breath, wiping sweat from his brow. He'd moved to Haven Rock for the quiet. He came here because this world needed builders, not warriors. After a decade in orbital construction, he wanted to work on something that grew, something that lived. His assistant, Jax, leaned against the doorway, chewing on a protein bar. "You coming to Culture's Night?" he asked. Aaron grimaced. "If someone brings something that doesn't taste like regret, maybe." Jax laughed. "Heard the Vayari dish is good." Aaron shot him a look. "Have you ever heard of Vayari? Complain about human seasoning?" Jax thought about it for a second. Fair point. Just then, a distant vibration ran through the floor. Aaron frowned. "You feel that?" Jax paused his chewing. "Probably the wind systems spooling up early." Aaron nodded, accepting the simple explanation. People always accepted the simple explanation. It was easier. In the primary school dome, teacher Elia Brooks was halfway through a lesson on the life cycles of stars. "And this," she said, rotating the glowing hologram of their sun, "is why we monitor fusion stability. Stars live for billions of years." But a small hand shot up in the front row. "Miss Brooks." "Yes, Taro? My dad says wars happen because people forget stars don't care who wins." Elia smiled gently at the boy's observation. "Your dad sounds like a very thoughtful man." The class giggled. Outside, the sky darkened slightly as the promised cloud cover thickened. Elia glanced up at the dome's ceiling, then back at the children. "All right," she said, her voice bright. "Tablets away. We'll finish this tomorrow." She didn't know there wouldn't be a tomorrow. The first impact didn't make a sound. Not at first. It was just a sudden, impossible absence. A hole where part of the colony had been just a moment before. Lena felt it before she heard anything. A sharp change in pressure that stole the breath right from her lungs. The walls of her apartment shook violently. Lights flickered and died. And then the comm panel screamed. "Unidentified orbital activity. Seek shelter." She ran, Aaron was thrown to the floor as the hydroponics bay ruptured around him. Water burst from shattered lines, and uprooted plants drifted through the air like strange, green corpses. "What the hell?" Jack shouted, struggling to his feet. The second impact hit closer. This one made a sound, a deafening roar, like the world itself was being torn in half. The dome ceiling above them cracked open. Aaron grabbed Jax's arm. "Shelter. Now." They didn't make it 3 steps before the lights went out for good. At the school, Aliyah didn't have time to explain. She just screamed, "Down." Children hit the floor as the dome's outer wall disintegrated in a silent, blinding wash of heat and light. The air itself burned. Aliyah threw herself over the nearest students as the pressure wave slammed through the room. She felt her back tear open, but she didn't let go. High above in orbit, Praetor Cale Vorn watched with a calm, detached expression. "Rod strikes complete," his tactical officer reported. "Dome's compromised." Vorn clasped his hands behind his back, his posture serene. "Begin the beam sweep," he ordered. On Haven Rock, lines of pure energy, of incandescent fire, traced across the surface with surgical precision. This wasn't random. It was never random. Lena reached the residential shelter just as the third strike hit. She screamed Mira's name into the smoke and the chaos, her voice shredded by wailing alarms. A man grabbed her arm. "It's not safe, my daughter," she sobbed, trying to pull away. "She's at the school." Another strike hit. The shelter ceiling collapsed. Her scream ended abruptly, cut off by vacuum and flame. Aaron Patel never felt the beam that found him. One moment he was dragging Jax toward a sealed bulkhead, a desperate hope in his heart. The next, there was only nothingness. The colony's automated systems tried to respond. Emergency shutters closed where they still could. Distress beacons activated, sending out fragments of a desperate plea. A message began transmitting into the void. It never finished. On the far side of the system, the sun kept shining, oblivious. But on Haven Rock, the lights went out one by one. The proud domes and bustling corridors were reduced to glowing scars. On the planet's surface, lakes boiled away into steam. The carefully managed atmosphere bled into space in ghostly, silent streams. When it was over, there was no one left to scream. Praetor Vorn allowed himself a small, satisfied smile. "Transmit the report," he said. A clean, bloodless message was sent to the Galactic Council. "Human overreach has been corrected. Stability preserved." Then, another message was broadcast directly into human-controlled space. A simple, chilling warning. "Stay in your place." He turned away from the viewport as the planet below cooled into a ruin. Haven Rock had lasted for 6 years. That was long enough to build schools, long enough for people to fall in love, long enough to believe that the Council's promises of peace and cooperation actually meant something. The galaxy would soon learn what Haven Rock had just taught humanity. It would learn that silence is permission, and it would learn that some lessons, once learned, have the power to rewrite the stars. Thanks for tuning in. This is only chapter 1 of a much larger story. If you want to see what happens next, what humanity does with this terrible lesson, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got a lot more to tell. See you next time.